The Mello TV Evening News at 8 is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Coronavirus is in Jamaica, and I know you feel scared and worried. But you can't let COVID-19 divide us. Coronavirus infects all kinds of people. It doesn't discriminate. So why should you? When someone coughs or sneezes or shows signs of the virus, tell them to call 888-1-LOVE immediately. And remember, stay 3 feet away, but don't attack or disrespect them, because we're all in this thing together. Come on, Jamaica, cut the hate and don't discriminate. Let us stand together and fight COVID-19 as one family, one nation.
Tonight, 5 people dead and others hospitalized following a series of shootings in the corporate area over the weekend.
One get grazed, 1 2 9 foot, and 1 grazed in forehead, and another man, and 2 dead.
2 months. We say pure bitterness. We don't know what's going on. No one knows what's going on.
The police have since identified the elderly woman and her 2 granddaughters who were shot and killed at their home in Trial Heights in Spanish Town, St. Catherine yesterday afternoon. Jamaica has recorded 59 new cases of the COVID-19 and 1 death as a result of the virus for November 22. The country's total confirmed COVID-19 cases now stand at 10,343. And Minister Edmund Bartlett says Jamaica Care's insurance program gives insurance companies an opportunity to join in the efforts of fighting the impact of COVID-19 pandemic in providing visitors with health and safety coverage.
Whether they have cash or not, they can be treated, and that's the power of this Jamaica Cares insurance cover.
Good evening. The Health Ministry has reported that Jamaica has recorded 59 new cases of COVID-19 and 1 death as a result of the virus as of yesterday, November 22. The ministry said the new death is that of a 78-year-old female from Westmoreland. This brings the country's death toll to 239. The country's total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases now stand at 10,343, of which 4,443 are active. The new cases consist of 25 males and 34 females, with ages ranging from 1 year to 87 years. Of the new cases, 15 are from St. Catherine, 11 are from Kingston and St. Andrew, 5 from Manchester, St. Anne, St. James and Westmoreland, 4 from St. Elizabeth, 3 from Clarendon and Hanover, 2 from St. Mary and 1 from St. Thomas. The ministry said 4 of the new cases are contacts of confirmed cases and the other 55 are under investigation. Meanwhile, the ministry also said 13 patients have recovered from the virus, bringing the country's total number of recoveries to 5,518. Following reports and information made public regarding alleged irregularities at the National Blood Transfusion Services (NBTS), Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton has ordered a comprehensive investigation into the operations of the blood bank, which has responsibility for the collection, testing, and distribution of all blood and its byproducts distributed across Jamaica. According to Dr. Tufton, quote, "The reports of irregularities at the blood bank have come to the attention of the executive management at the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and we are deeply concerned and have asked that an investigation be conducted immediately. The report of a process error in particular is of great concern. However, the ministry would like to reassure the public that no contaminated blood product was issued arising out of this," end quote. Dr. Tufton added that the blood bank is a critical part of the public health system even as it continues to combat COVID-19, and the public can be assured that the donation and receipt of blood products is safe and is needed for the treatment of several disorders. The ministry says it is expected to get a report in the coming weeks and will address any concerns and/or recommendations that may arise from the findings of the investigation. In other news, 5 people are dead and several others hospitalized following a series of shootings in the corporate area over the weekend. And here is Colleen May with more on this story.
The corporate area on the weekend saw numerous shootings which left 5 people dead and several others nursing gunshot wounds. Over in central Kingston, 2 persons were shot and killed and another shot and injured on East King Street and Maiden Lane on Saturday night. When our news team visited the area, one man explained that the shooting was as a result of an alleged ongoing gang war.
Well, when I come out, I see the crowd and a man lie down and one gone, One get grazed, 2 down foot, and 1 grazed in forehead, and another man, and 2 dead. Why, enough people are dead around the Charges Lane where there. 1 girl get shot up and thing. Why want the war done and people live good and thing, man? Are the people afraid for what? All the people have to lock up. Nobody now, little more a ghost town as a town. After it's 5, 6 o'clock.
Another resident says that she's calling on the government to intervene as the residents are fearful for their lives.
2 months. We say pure bitterness. We don't know what's going on. No one knows what's going on. We can't just know that persons are dead. No vehicle has been intercepted by the police. All of it drive by. As you see, ladies been shot. This is where we fear for our life because we are women. We go to bed and we know so we are dead. We are living in fear right now because, as we say, even though the place is a ghost town, nobody on the street, business slow down, it affects each and every one. So please, may I beg everyone for come out, see how well we can meet up and see our best. We're calling on the Prime Minister, we're calling on the Commissioner of Police if you have to drop a zozo or tent, anything to stabilize this war, but it's getting control. We are really scared. And we are just pleading and asking for the whole community, ladies, children, the church, the private sector as a business person, to come out and see how best we can get this thing stabilized.
2 persons, a man and a woman who were at their home on Burks Road in Whitfield, St. Andrew, were also shot and killed, while a 24-year-old man was fatally shot and 2 others shot and injured on Fitzgerald Avenue in the same community last night. Our news team visited the area and spoke with the 24-year-old man's mother, who explained what she believed caused her son's life. She's calling on the government to implement a zone of special operations in the community to help stem the upsurge in violence.
Sunday night at 6 minutes after 8, I was inside. I hear a lot of gunshot. When I rush out, I see my son lie there. I see the other girl lie there. I couldn't even touch none because we are weak. I was so weak. And them say, the shooter, them drive gun. And me's not a shooter, my son is not a shooter, what the problem. But the day before, him have friends in all different communities. I hear that 600,000 was on his head. I said, for what? They said, them no know. Like them say, I grudge him, man, him other friend them. Because when them got a party, them just a braffle 3-4 NC them buy pan table, them ever clean. And I say, them rather them. So I said that people want to kill Unofa. NC, we are just drink and drunk. But me tell them, me left everything in a God hand. So people up and down see me, I just casual same way. We want it and we want sleeping police on the street. Every other street have sleeping police. This road alone don't have it. Fitzgerald Avenue don't have it. We need that. Because if that did up on the road, them couldn't get a getaway or couldn't get for drive coming in. He was a loving and caring young youth. He get one. One is on the way to born, and one is alive.
Reporting for Mello TV News, I am Colleen May.
Thanks, Colleen. And the police have since identified the elderly woman and her two granddaughters who were gunned down at their home in Trial Heights, Spanish Town, St. Catherine yesterday afternoon. The deceased are 81-year-old Iselin McFarlane as well as two sisters, 10-year-old Christina McFarlane and 6-year-old Michelle McFarlane. Reports are that at about 3:30 p.m., gunmen traveling in a motor car raided a house in Trial Heights where they shot the elderly woman and her granddaughters. Two other persons were said to have been in the house at the time, but they managed to escape unharmed. The gunmen escaped in the waiting motor car. Two of the victims died at the scene while another died at hospital. Police investigators are said to be following strong leads as they continue to piece together clues in relation to the grisly gun attack. The murders come about 24 hours after three men were ambushed and killed by gunmen as the victims traveled in a motor car on the Tobolski Main Road in Yelland District near Watt Town in St. Anne. And the St. Anne police have released the identities of three men who were shot dead by gunmen in the parish on Saturday. They have been identified as 22-year-old Brandon Williams, otherwise called Lando of Steertown and Wattown in the parish, 18-year-old Romario Higgins, alias Bashi, and Herman Wilson. The latter two men were from Gibraltar District in Wattown. At the time of his death, Williams, who was facing gun-related charges, was reporting to the Brownstown police station as a condition of his bail. The bullet-riddled bodies of the three men were found on a deserted roadway in Yelland District near Wattown in St. Anne on Saturday afternoon. It was reported that at about 3:30 p.m., the men were traveling in a motor car on the Tobolski Main Road in the area when the vehicle was allegedly shot up by gunmen. The bodies of the men were found shortly after. Investigations have still not established a motive for the triple killing. The Shadow Minister of National Security, Mr. Fitz Jackson, is calling on the Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang, to take urgent action to stop the spike in murders and to prioritize the deteriorating crime and public security environment which has prevailed in Jamaica for several months. In a statement this morning, Mr. Jackson says he takes note of the escalation of murders over the weekend, in which there were two triple murders and over 18 people killed since last Thursday. Mr. Jackson said the minister must respond with an effective policy initiative, which should include additional support for security personnel to combat this monstrous upsurge, which is of great concern to citizens. Mr. Jackson said the killings over the weekend were indicative of this continuous changing environment of creeping lawlessness and emboldened criminals even in deep rural communities where criminal activity was always at the level of petty crimes. He expressed condolences to all the families who were affected by these senseless killings, particularly an 81-year-old grandmother and two children ages 6 and 10 who were killed yesterday in Trial Heights in St. Catherine. In other news, the Rotary Club and the Salvation Army are once again twinning their efforts in service to the communities in the Western region with the official launch of the Salvation Army Christmas Kettle Drive and the Rotary Club of Montego Bay's presentation of tablets to students in St. James. More on this story with Natisha Johnson.
Rotary Club of Montego Bay presented tablets to students earlier today to what they say ensuring that all students have an equal opportunity to education. President of the Rotary Club of Montego Bay, Major Nana Adiman, says we must work towards ensuring that everyone have access to education, and this is one way they are helping to ensure that happens.
We deeply believe that education is no longer a privilege for the few. And the idea that it is a privilege should not remain just a notion, but practically we should move to make it an actual reality where every living being must have access to education. irrespective of your social background. And this is the fight that we from the Rotary Club of Montego Bay and others are engaged in to ensure that we make this a right and not a privilege. And so today we will be handing over tablets so that students can access online learning.
Sergeant for the club, Francis Wigger, in speaking with our news team, explained that the tablets are of high quality and standard.
Now, we could have gone out and acquired regular tablets that you could get on Amazon or something for minuscule in amount, but we wanted to ensure that these students not only have a piece of equipment that will cater to their immediate needs, but something that they can grow into. Not only the technology on these tablets are of high standard, but the durability. I would demonstrate, but I won't do it right now in how durable they are. But they're designed and equivalent to what they would use on a construction site. So they're very strong. The backbone of them, they're like any high-speed computer. So the students will be growing with this, and next year and a year after they can grow with it and not have a time where they go like, I need again, because the inferior quality would have expired its use.
Robert Blake, the Vice President of Cornwall Combined Disability Association Benevolent Society, in collecting a tablet on behalf of one of their members, had this to say.
I am elated in receiving a tablet on the behalf of one of our members and their child. And indeed, we consider this a very honorable privilege. And we thank the Salvation Army, the Rotarian, and the necessary entity who has deemed the privilege in helping and providing the tablet to us and the community and the rest of Jamaica. We thank you on the behalf of Cornwall Combined Disability Association Benevolent Society.
I'm Nathisha Johnson reporting for Mello TV News.
Thanks, Nathisha. In the meantime, in its efforts to serve the communities in the Western region, the Salvation Army today launched its Christmas Kettle Drive. Divisional Commander of the Salvation Army, Major Nana Ayemang, and his team are asking for the public's assistance to help families that are in need this Christmas by donating to the Kettle Drive.
We all are aware of the current pandemic, which has caused many persons to be in need. I therefore make a special appeal to the general public to donate to the Kettle Appeal so that we are able to help all those persons who will be looking forward, in spite of the current situation, to have a wonderful Christmas. We always depend on the public, and we thank you in advance for all that you do to make the Salvation Army's mission a success.
To everyone to assist us this year in particular, we are in dire need of assistance. More than ever this year, we're going to be asking persons to make their personal pledges, asking companies to pledge to, because the need is even greater than it was last year.
JetBlue Airlines, one of the island's long-standing airline partners, on Saturday debuted direct flights from two major United States gateways into the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James. A delegation of tourism officials and stakeholders were on hand to welcome the passengers and crew from JetBlue Flight 107 from Newark Liberty Airport, New Jersey, and JetBlue Flight 549 out of Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina. Executive Director of Jamaica Vacations, Joy Roberts, said the direct flights from the two major U.S. gateways will be a major plus for Jamaica, especially with the tourism sector looking to get back to normality. The Raleigh flights will be on Saturdays only in November and twice weekly in December on Wednesdays and Saturdays. The Newark flights will operate Wednesdays and Saturdays only in November and Saturdays and Sundays in December. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says the Jamaica Cares insurance program gives insurance companies an opportunity to join in the efforts of fighting the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic in providing visitors with health and safety coverage. And we have more on this story with Colleen May.
Minister of Tourism and co-chair of the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center GTR CMC Edmund Bartlett says the Jamaica Cares Insurance Program adds protection and safety for tourists coming into the country while giving health insurance companies a chance to participate in the recovery effort from the COVID-19 pandemic.
Everyone has a chance to be part of the management of the pandemic, and the insurance companies have always shied away from dealing with pandemics. And this is an occasion where they have now seen that they can participate and that the world needs it. And the new traveler, the new visitor, the generation COVID, the Gen Z, as Jamaica has designated them, and the world is accepting them, is interested in safe and healthy environment. But the more important thing is that they want to be part of a response mechanism that enables them to be treated on demand. Whether they have cash or not, they can be treated. And that's the power of this Jamaica Cares insurance cover, because it is not a refundable scheme. It is one that as long as you book to enter a destination, you're covered. When you're on the flight coming to the destination, you're covered. While you're in the destination for the length of your vacation, you're covered. And it doesn't cost you at the moment any additional cash outlay in order to get the service. And the more important thing is that you don't have to worry about being refunded, because the payment to the hospitals or to whatever institution involved is immediate. And this is a very, very important part of it. It will help a country like Jamaica to be relieved of the tax burden of having to take care of international visitors who come here during the pandemic.
The minister also explained who will benefit from the Global Resilience Fund.
For the center to spearhead again, they call for a Global Resilience Fund. And the Global Resilience Fund is really to assist small and highly tourism-dependent countries that are weakly resourced and who are likely to go under, with the weight of this pandemic unless there is resource support for them. Help to build the capacity to be able to respond and to respond to the health needs of their people, and more importantly, even to be able to acquire the biosecure equipment and other COVID secure equipment, PPEs, that are required to help people to manage better the virus that is around it. So the final area of outcome for us is the establishment of 2 academic chairs at the University of the West Indies here, one to deal with resilience and the other to deal with innovation. The term of reference for it has already been put, the board approved, and we're expecting that we will go to get the funding support that is needed to establish those chairs.
Reporting for Mello TV News, I'm Colleen May.
Thanks, Colleen. The People's National Party PNP caretaker for West Rural St. Andrew, Jennifer Housen, has now joined in the bid with East Central St. Catherine caretaker Raymond Price and the former Northwest St. Anne Member of Parliament Dr. Dayton Campbell for the role of General Secretary of the party, which will be decided this Sunday at the PNP National Executive Council meeting and executive election. Housen, who is an attorney at law by profession, made her intentions clear on the weekend in a Facebook post on Saturday, while stating that there is a rebuilding and reuniting process that must be engaged and which requires a general secretary seized with tenacity, administration, organization, empathy, conflict or dispute resolution skills, and an enthusiastic need to serve the party and support the comrade leader. And those are the stories making news. I will return with the recap. We'll now take a break and then join Christopher Scott with sports.